These are important and basic facts you need to know about each military branch before joining. The first branch we'll be starting off with is the Army, which is where I'm currently serving. Its mission is to protect the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Now, these are some facts about the Army if you're thinking about joining. You must be between 17 and 35 years old, a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, have a high school diploma or equivalent, and pass a physical fitness exam, and also earn a minimum score on the Army's entrance exam test, better known as the ASVAB. All recruits must complete about 14 to 22 weeks of basic training, also known as boot camp. Now let's talk about the Navy. Now, the Navy's mission is to maintain control and safety over the oceans, including maritime security, sea control, and power projection. The Navy includes 298 ships, including 11 aircraft carriers, and its ships launch aircraft, missiles, and torpedoes. The Navy also provides disaster relief and hospital services to countries in need. Being between the ages of 17 and 41 is where you need to be in order for you to join the Navy. You no longer need a high school diploma or GED equivalent if you score at least 50 on the Armed Forces Qualification Test, AFQT. Next, we're going to talk about the Air Force. Now, the Air Force is responsible for air operations and can deliver forces anywhere in the world within hours. Airmen in the Air Force may deploy to safer locations such as Kuwait to provide combat air patrols. To join the Air Force, you need to be between the ages of 17 and 42. All right, next up, we're going to talk about the Marine Corps. You got to be between the ages of 17 and 28 to join, all right? Marine Corps members are called Marines, not soldiers. And they typically have to go through way more intense training than the Army. Marines operate the sea, land, and air. Gas will be rocket ships because we're going to take it to space, y'all. All right, so we'll hit up the Space Force. 17 to 39 is the age you need to be to qualify to join the Space Force. Now, say the Space Force is a separate branch from the military that protects and defends the U.S. interests in space. Okay, in space. Improve the country's defensive and technology and communication capabilities, and to achieve national objectives through space power. All right, the Space Force organizes, trains, and equips space forces to protect U.S. and allied interests in space. This includes overseeing launch operations and on-orbit maintenance of satellites and other space systems. The Space Force also protects against dangerous objects that could fall through the atmosphere and cause catastrophes. Active duty benefits include world-class training, opportunities to pay for college and advanced degrees, access to health care, retirement plans, and tax incentives. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the Coast Guard. Now, for the Coast Guard, you got to be between the ages of 17 and 42 to join. A federal law enforcement agency and military branch that enforces maritime laws, protects the marine environment, and provides military and naval support. The USCG is part of the Department of Homeland Security in peacetime, but can be ordered to join the Department of the Navy during wartime by Congress or the President. The USCG's missions include search and rescue, coastal defense, and responding to incidents.
Justin, what are some things from the Army that you enjoy?
Some things I like PT, mandatory PT.
And what is PT?
Stands for physical training, like physical fitness. We do it in the morning for about an hour to 2 hours. So I usually wake up around like 5 in the morning to be like extra ready, get all my things ready to go to work, to be at work by 6:15. And then around 6:30 we'll have like our little formation. And then they'll just talk to us about the day, what's supposed to be happening. We'll go from formation over to the gym, or go for a run, or whatever physical fitness training that the NCOs have planned out for us, and then we execute that.
So Justin, what are some things that you wish you knew before joining the Army?
Well, I wish I would have did my research before joining the military. That way I think I would have had a better chance of getting the job I actually wanted. I didn't want infantry. I wanted to be a mechanic, to be per se. Right now I'm an infantry mortarman, indirect fire, so that's known as an 11 Charlie. That's known as your MOS. And yeah, well, that just like the requirements. I wish I would have known about more of like the benefits of education, more of like the different type of extra activities and programs you could take advantage of to further help boost your career, like going Rangers, which Rangers are like seen as kind of like the Power Rangers of the military, more physically fit, more critical thinkers, you know. Stuff like that. Really just that.
That's the only two things you wish you knew before going into the Army?
Well, I mean, that, and also I guess about all the places I could go to if I joined the military. I wish I would have known about,
like, all the different bases?
Yeah, the different bases that they had, what the requirements are for those bases, going overseas, where I could go to as far as like my first duty station. you know, like what to look forward to at every duty station, whichever one I chose to do.
What is a DFAC?
A DFAC is a military cafeteria.
And what are some things that they serve there?
The cafeteria serves whatever, kind of like eggs, bacon, like the basic, I guess, like breakfast, pancakes, waffles. Depending on which DFAC you go to, some DFACs based off the branch are a lot better than others.
So they serve only breakfast all day?
Well, not just breakfast. They have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They serve all three. But mind you, the DFAC is only free for those military soldiers who are single. So if you end up being a military soldier and you join while you're single, you can eat at the DFAC for free because they already take that a portion of your check that you get monthly. They take that and they put that towards the DFAC so you can eat for free. So all you got to do is just show them your CAT card, and then you can just go there and just get whatever you want.
What about if I'm married?
If you're married, you can pay. You have to pay for the DFAC.
How much is it?
The DFACs, well, currently on this base is $4. Costs $4 and a little bit of change. And that's really cheap.
Is it worth it?
It is worth it. It is. You know, like any cafeteria, you're gonna have your off days. You're gonna have some times where it's like some stuff you don't like. But for the most part, I do enjoy the DFAC.
Do they serve lobster at the DFAC?
They do serve lobster at the DFAC.
How often?
That's only been one time though. They serve lobster at the DFAC.
Did you try it?
I did.
Was it good?
It was actually pretty good.
0 out of 5 forks?
0 out of 5 forks, I'd give it a 3.5.
Okay.
3.5, so that's actually pretty good. I would get it again. Like I said before, since I've been at this base, they've only served it like at least one time. They serve other things like steaks, biscuits, and gravy. What else? They serve shrimp sometimes. They serve meatloaf, just kind of like whatever you can think of. They've technically served it at least
Have
once or
you
twice.
enjoyed military housing?
I have been, I guess, on the little shaky with the military housing. My first duty station, I was in El Paso. I do enjoy military housing. For one, I'm on base, so that means they take it out of my BAH. My BAH is my base housing allowance. Okay, it's known as a base housing allowance.
And you get that once you're married?
You get that once you're married, and it's like probably like a couple $1,000s more they give you.
It's not that much, but yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
Because when you're staying on base, on base housing, they take about $2,000 out of your check to go towards your housing. Now, mind you, I know that sounds like a lot, but that takes care of your your electric. It takes care
utilities
of your
and rent.
Utilities and rent and stuff like that. So it's all just like one big sum. So if you think it's like a whole lot, it's okay.
What branch do you recommend? Honestly, I recommend the Air Force.
I would recommend the Air Force. The Army's good too. They're all really nice. But I would say if you want something I feel like that's a little bit more smooth, a little bit more laid back, not as, I guess, stressful. Any job can be stressful, but based off my experience, I would recommend anybody who doesn't want to deal with like a really stressful, kind of like somewhat hostile environment. The Army wouldn't really be the thing for you.
Who would you recommend?
I would recommend the Air Force. I thought about going to the Air Force in the beginning. Before the Air Force, I thought about going to the Marines, but that didn't really work out. So I would say the Air Force. The Air Force is a lot more chill. I feel like the housing is better. A lot of things that they offer their soldiers a whole lot better. But the Army is really cool too, because I think the same as the Navy and the Air Force, you can actually pick your job that you want to do. That's the difference between all the other branches in the Marine Corps. I was told in the Marine Corps, you actually have to do a little bit more to have a job that I don't think you can actually choose from. I could be wrong. But I'm doing this, I'm having this information also based off somebody that I've worked with who was prior Marines before joining the military.
All right, Justin, any final words?
My final words is if you're ever thinking about doing the military at all, like any branch, make sure you do your research. A lot of extensive research. Also, make sure you already know what job you're going in for. What MOS that you want to
study for the ASVAB.
Study for the ASVAB, because in the Army, or like I would also think any type of military branch, the higher your ASVAB score is, the more doors open up for whatever job that you want to I guess like apply for. Like, so in the Army, if you get like over 100 on your ASVAB test, you can literally go and apply for any job that you want to. And a lot of these jobs come with bonuses, a lot of good benefits. It's really cool. Like, if you want to go into the medical field in the Army, there's one where you can get like a $400,000 bonus, but you gotta also be an officer. That's different from enlisted.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would recommend definitely joining the military. It's definitely helped my family out a lot. There's like the benefits. You get dental, you get
health, vision,
all of it. They pay for your schooling. If any school that you're trying to go to in college, is also supporting. Is also supported by the military. They'll pay for your whole entire 4 years of going there. Your whole entire one.
Subscribe,
y'all. There's some people who actually feed raccoons. They end up coming back to their house. It's super cute.
I can't believe it.
Wow.
I was like, what this dude?
Yeah, that's a whole raccoon in there. What's up, little man? Oh, you look scared of us. We gonna leave out. Oh, that raccoon is blind in one eye.
Is it really?
Yep. That's an old raccoon. Wow.